Well, let's say this.
All right.
If for some bizarre reason that the Supreme Court returns power to the states on this issue, that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that we should rejoice.
Yeah.
So how about this? To life.
To life. And to Elizabeth Warren's sanctity. And that she would be given the grace to repent.
Pray
and
for
to
her
sober
soul.
up.
Pray for her soul.
Yeah. I gave a talk recently at St. Gregory the Great Academy, and you helped me with that talk, and you made this suggestion to me, which was the kind of central point of the talk that I gave, and that was that good Catholic education, or forget Catholic, good education would have us come to know what is true, love that thing, and then serve that thing. Did I have that in the right order? To know, love, and serve. This is what the Baltimore Catechism says.
Know, to love, and serve the Logos.
Right.
Yes.
And then you pointed out that what often happens through public school education or indoctrination through television or media is the exact inverse. That hierarchy of knowing, loving, and serving is inverted so that instead, little Lizzie Warren, as a 6-year-old girl, maybe, was told that abortion is very good for women, and we should want what's good for women, right? And she was basically, and I'm using her as a punching bag, but let's anyone, right? Sure. They're given this ideology, and they're taught first to serve it, not to know what's true, but to serve it.
That's right.
This is why you'll chat with kids and they might tell you that transgenderism is good and that sodomy is good, and right, because they've been told to serve this thing. They haven't really been given the option. They haven't even been given an argument for it. They serve it. Right. If you serve something long enough, you come to hold a particular affection for that thing. And that might be because you feel that you're on the right side of history or in the in-group or on the side of the oppressed. You come to sort of identify with this thing. Then the final step is you come to, quote unquote, know it. Now, you can't know what is false, but you can, in the sense of accepting it as true, but you can rationalize it. And I think that's what we see. When we chat with a pro-abort like Liz Warren, we're seeing somebody who has the hooks of an ideology into her, and she's not actually interested in truth. That's why I said earlier, it's not merely a matter of we're using different language. It's you're not interested in the way things are.
That's right.
Your thoughts?
That's right. No, and when you invert that order, those three things change meaning. So to serve the agenda, not just abortion, but all the LGBT, all the agendas, to serve them and to come to love them isn't love. It's a kind of a self-arrogation that we see in virtue signaling. It's really that kind of thing. It's when you know first, then love. That kind of love is a humility that says, I acquiesce to the nature of reality, and I give in to truth in my love that this thing is worthy of love, as opposed to I arrogate to myself and thereby virtue signal the agenda I support because I get human respect for it, as opposed to respect from God the other way around. And as you mentioned, this knowing is a kind of not just rationalization, it's a false kind of knowing. So I guess rationalization is the right word, but the love also is a Stockholm syndrome. And then the knowing becomes a knowing about Stockholm syndrome, which turns into this weird little myopic, self-referencing, subjective self-love, as opposed to the opposite when you know the Logos, know Christ, love Christ, and serve Christ. It's worshiping the objective will of truth. And it's such a radically different thing. And if you look at the public schools, and you start with John Dewey, and you look what they've morphed into, it truly is serving the agenda, loving what you're serving out of self-adulation, and then thinking that you know something that you don't. And that's exactly why people that are deluded like Liz Warren can say, I know this issue. And she's completely wrong about nearly everything she says, because she's saying she knows something that she doesn't know at all. And she truly appears to love it, right? I really want all women everywhere to be able to slaughter their unborn children. That's literally what she's saying.
Yes.
So this inversion is, I think, absolutely key, not just for this conversation, but to begin to say, hey, what's going on with public schools? What kind of education did we receive? We were all in this. And if it didn't envelop us, we can thank our families and our churches for mitigating the damage that this kind of inverted order does when you serve, love, and think you know a thing. And I think that's the big divide. That's the big divide.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. Knowing, loving, and serving.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.